The night Musa disappeared, the sea whispered secrets that no one dared to hear. By morning, the town of Kisiwa Kuu had lost its first victim, and a black box washed ashore. Inside, letters confessing crimes no one had dared to speak of. And those who ignored them never returned. If you're on the edge of your seat and want to know what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This story is far from over, and the sea never forgets. The night the sea swallowed Musa, the town of Kisiwa Kuu went quiet in a way that made your skin crawl. No laughter, no music, no shouting of children. Even the dogs stopped barking as if they knew something terrible had arrived. People said the ocean had ears, and that it remembered every wrong committed on land and water. They whispered that when someone tried to hide a sin, the waves would always bring it back. Musa was a fisherman known for being fearless. He would sail out even when storm clouds gathered thick and dark, and the waves rose high to swallow anything in their path. That night, he left his small wooden boat, humming a tune, and promised his wife he would return before the full moon rose. But Musa never came back. His boat was found drifting near the edge of the shore, empty. Inside it, tied with a wet rope, was a black box. The box was heavy and it had a strange smell, like the sea itself had rotted it from the inside. Curiosity and fear gripped the villagers. When they opened the box, they found letters. Each was addressed to someone in town, confessing a secret crime, murder, theft, betrayal, lies buried for years. The handwriting was shaky, as if the person who wrote it had been trembling with fear. Some letters were old, the paper yellowed and brittle. Some were fresh, still smelling of ink and salt. It started slowly. The first person named in the letters was a young man called Baraka, who had stolen from the town's market and hidden it in the forest. 7 nights after the letter was discovered, Baraka disappeared. No scream, no struggle, no sign of him at all. His sandals were found at the edge of the pier, and the tide had drawn strange patterns in the sand, like the sea had reached out and pulled him in. Then it became a rhythm. Another letter appeared, another secret revealed, another disappearance exactly 7 nights later. Windows were broken, doors left wide open, and a salty, decaying smell filled the air. People started noticing shadows moving in the corners of their eyes. Whispers floated when the wind blew from the shore, and sometimes at night, children claimed to see a figure walking on the water, vanishing when anyone blinked. The villagers grew desperate. They turned to Amina, the wise woman who lived in a hut by the edge of the town. She was known to talk to the spirits of the river and read the signs in the wind. When they asked her for help, she told them the sea was angry. The letters, she said, are warnings. Those who ignore them will disappear. The ocean has a memory longer than time itself. It will not forget and it will not forgive. Some villagers refused to believe her. They burned the letters, thinking that if the warnings were destroyed, the disappearances would stop. But the sea did not forgive. The mayor Juma burned the letters himself. He stood by a metal barrel watching the flames lick the paper. He laughed, proud of his courage, thinking himself smarter than the ocean. By dawn Juma was gone. Only his shoes remained at the shore, neatly placed as if he had walked into the water, leaving nothing else behind. Panic swept through Kisiwa Kuu. Families packed what little they had and left under the cover of night. Those who stayed could feel it. The ocean watching, the waves whispering secrets, calling out for those who had lied, stolen, or betrayed. Even the children became silent, afraid to speak, afraid to draw attention from the sea. Musa's wife Hawa refused to leave. She waited by the shore every night, calling his name into the wind, staring at the waves as if she could pull him back. Sometimes she swore she saw his boat floating in the distance, dark and empty, moving closer and farther away with the tide. Other times she heard a voice, soft, broken, calling for help from beneath the water. But no one else could hear it and no one came to save him. Then came the night of the storm. Lightning split the sky and thunder shook the earth. The villagers who remained locked themselves inside, hoping that the sea's anger would pass. But Hawa walked to the edge of the pier, carrying a lantern and a small basket of flowers. She whispered to the sea, telling it she would pay any price to bring Musa back. The wind roared and the waves crashed higher than anyone had ever seen. A hand reached from the water, pale and trembling. It was Musa or something that had once been him. The villagers watched from their windows, frozen with fear. The figure pulled Hawa into the waves. They never returned. After that night, the town of Kisiwa Kuu was nearly empty. Some say the sea had taken Musa and Hawa as payment for the secrets buried in the letters. Others say they had been transformed into spirits, trapped between water and sky, doomed to wander forever. Only the sound of the waves remained, carrying whispers of guilt, betrayal and unspoken crimes. Years passed. Travelers who dared to cross the coast claimed they saw lights flickering on the old pier, even when no one lived there. They heard voices carried by the wind, telling stories of wrongs done long ago. One day a black box washed ashore just like the first one. Inside were new letters, new secrets, new sins. The ocean never sleeps. It listens, it waits, and when people try to hide their guilt, the waves bring it back. The town is quiet now. Empty houses lean against each other, doors swinging in the wind. Children never play on the pier, and fishermen avoid the waters at night. But sometimes, if the moon is full and the sea is calm, you can hear whispers along the shore. The letters are gone, but the secrets remain. And if you are listening closely, you might hear the ocean call your name too, reminding you that it never forgets. Even today, the villagers warn anyone who comes close. Do not ignore the sea. Do not hide your sins. The ocean collects what is owed, and it always finds its way.